In this video, I'm going to rank the albums by Arch Enemy, including the new one called Deceivers. I will only be ranking 11 studio albums, so I will not be including any of the live albums, the EPs, or the covers album, or that remake album. This ranking is just my opinion, and it might be a little different than some of the other channels, but we're all different. We have different tastes. So anyway, let me get right into it. So coming in at number 11 is Black Earth from 1996. Now usually when I do these rankings, a band's debut will come up very high, but in this case, this is when it's at the bottom. This is an album with their first vocalist, Johan Liebe. The biggest complaint with this album is the vocals. They sound very raw. The sound is closer to death metal, but they do start to incorporate that metal death sound here. Songs are faster and more brutal, but that doesn't always mean they're better. Songs sound similar, and the production is very muddy. One song that stands out is Idolatress. This one has some cool tempo changes. Not too bad, still very raw. The short instrumental Time Capsule, that kind of sounds like a thrash ballad with those clean arpeggios. The final song, Losing Faith, it's not too bad. This one has some cool death metal riffs. Otherwise, the rest is kind of forgettable. At number 10, I have Stigmata from 1998. So this one came out 2 years later. It's a slight improvement. It's the second album with Johan, but still suffers from poor vocals. This one still has a death metal style, but they're also doing some modern metal deaths. Production is still muddy. Some of the melodic riffs are good. Some of the songs are good. We got Sinister Mephisto. This has some chunky riffs and can get brutal at times. Let the Killing Begin. This has a cool intro riff followed by an extended drum solo. That one has some cool chunky riffs. Then they do some post-metal stuff with a song like Black Earth. That's actually the title of the previous album. And they do some traditional death metal riffs on here. And then they change it up a little with Vox Stellarum. It's an instrumental with piano and melodic guitar. This band likes to put these little short instrumentals in their albums, so that's something that's going to be a common theme. And another song, Diva Satanica, they play that one live, and then that's just classic death metal. But the album's good, but after this, the albums just take a really big jump forward. At number 9, I have Burning Bridges from 1999. This is their third album, and this one has Johan Liebe, and this one is a lot better than the previous two. And I'm actually surprised this one only comes in at number 9 because the other ones are just a little better, but this is a really good album. So everything from here on in is just really good. The songwriting on here is just next level. You do hear a difference. So take a song like The Immortal. This one has a sound similar to that typical Arch Enemy sound that we all know from the rest of the albums. The guitar solo sound better. The solo or the intro solo to the song Dead Inside sounds really taking it to the next level. The song A Pilgrim, this one has an opening riff. It reminded me of classic Iron Maiden. The guitar sound was very melodic. And they bring in a classic heavy metal influence. For example, a song like Seed of Hate has this. And this is the first album where the production sounds a lot better than the previous two. The songs don't seem to sound like they're all the same. Each song has their own unique flavor. It's a great album, but like I said, the other ones are just a little better. So at number 8, I have Rise of the Tyrant from 2007. This one I actually have on CD. This is the first album with Angela, and it's another one. I'm kind of surprised that it is low, but the other ones are just better. That being said, it's a great album. Common lyrical theme is this new world order and tyrants, as the title suggests. The album just has this classic mellow death metal sound. I also noticed they incorporate a little of that neoclassical influence on this album. There are a lot of great songs. The opener, Blood on Your Hands, has some great riffing. They had a music video for I Will Live Again and In This Shallow Grave. The short instrumental called Intermezzo Liberte, that's just classical music. That's really great. The album is awesome, but the other ones are better, but only by a little. Now, at number 7, I have War Eternal from 2014. Another one I actually just bought the CD. First album with Alisa White-Gluz, and this one is very good. I think it might actually be like the best album cover. The music is very good. They're taking their melodic death metal sound and just making it a little more accessible. So, these albums with Elisa are really good like gateway albums for if you want to like get into the genre. And this one had a few singles such as War Eternal and You Will Know My Name. And they still have some pretty cool of those like neoclassical instrumentals. The song No More Regrets has a very memorable chorus, really cool like whirlwind style riffing and doing that like machine gun riffing. And the song You Will Know My Name, probably their catchiest song. Stolen Life has some heavy riffs and more classic sound. And I think the only thing missing from this album are those clean vocals by Elisa. And she will do those on the subsequent albums, which is why they will be ranked a little higher on this list. And still a really good album, but I have it at number 7. At number 6, I have Doomsday Machine from 2005. This is another one of those Angela albums, and I've always liked this one. This one they get a little more experimental, like especially the song like My Apocalypse. And that song they kind of delve into like prog metal with some interesting rhythms and sounds, and I hear like a little metalcore influence on this album. You hear some more clean guitars, and there's kind of like an influence from alternative metal. They do some more atmospheric stuff here. The song Carried Across, that's a good example of how they add in like different sounds and they still keep it heavy. Some interesting percussion on I Am Legend, Out for Blood. And that one has some brutal blast beats. And the song Hybrids of Steel has some interesting guitar playing. It's not all just like super fast death metal, almost like progressive metal at times. And this is why I have it ranked very high. At number 5, I have Will to Power from 2017. Another one, this is the only other one I have on CD. And this is the album that actually got me into the band. So on this album, we get some more clean vocals by Elisa. And I think this was a really good natural progression for the band. This one has some of their most popular songs, like As The World Is Yours, Eagle Flies Alone. And I think those are actually the first 2 songs I heard from this band. They have a ballad called Reason to Believe. That one has like half clean vocals and half harsh vocals. Now with that song Reason to Believe, I think it might have sounded better if they just stuck with the clean vocals, but still a really great song. And then another really great song that's really underrated called First Day in Hell. And this one was about Elisa's grandparents who were Holocaust survivors. So the song has really great rhythms. And the lyrics are just very haunting. So if you do get the chance, look up the lyrics and just read them as you listen along. Then there's Dreams of Retribution. That's a great song. I love that line which sings like, plotting my revenge is the only thing keeping me alive. Then they had that like haunting piano sound after that. I love that one. This is one of my favorite albums, and I have it up high, but just the others are just a little better. Not a lot, but a little better. At number 4, I have the new one, Deceivers. So I think this is the best of the Elisa albums, and probably most would agree. I'd say like Will to Power is a close second as far as if I was just ranking the Elisa albums. I do have a full review of this, but I'll just talk about it a little more because I was able to get in a few more listens, and I still like it a lot. Opening song, Handshake from Hell, probably one of their best openers ever. I love how Lisa's doing these like different vocal styles. The first half of the album is really solid. We've got Deceiver. That's the first single, a really heavy song. In the Eye of the Storm. They're really like cool, like guitar riff. The Watcher, a song they just did a music video for. Poison Arrow, that one's really great, underrated. Sunset Over the Empire. I love that one, has that like singable guitar riff. And the album is just, there's more clean vocals, more melody. The band has matured. They found a new sound. It's not just brutal, heavy music. The songs are just very well written, really great structure, and a lot of melody. So that's why I have this new album up very high at number 4. Now my top 3, actually my number 1 might be a little surprising, but I'll get to that later. So number 3 is Anthems of Rebellion from 2003. So this is an album from the Angela era. The songs are very heavy, the vocals are just very dark and evil. Songwriting is really good. They have that perfect blending of heavy and melodic. The song We Will Rise has some really cool guitar riffs, has these like evil sounding vocals. even like a slight black metal influence here. And the song Leader of the Rats, this one has cool vocal effects. And kind of like Angela, she sounds like a rattlesnake. I don't know how to do it, but it's pretty cool. Lots of melodic riffs and just a very memorable song. Exist to Exit, and has some slower riffing and still very heavy. Despicable Heroes, that one has like a groove metal influence, and I kind of thought of the band like Machine Head with that one. End of the Line and Dehumanization, they're both great songs with some clean vocals in the chorus. At number 2, Wages of Sin from 2001. So this is the first Angela album, and I think a lot of people would have this at number 1, but for me it comes in at number 2. Just a very heavy album. The opening track is a banger, has these fast rhythms and aggressive vocals. Heart of Darkness, that's probably like one of their best songs because they do some atmospheric stuff. Then they have this breakdown, it kind of reminded me of like classic Black Sabbath, and I really enjoy those different changes they put into that song. Then there's Savage Messiah, it's like slow and doomy, and they do some different sound textures. On the song Behind the Smile, they kind of do some neoclassical stuff there. Overall, just a very, really good album. And number 1 might be a surprise, but Khaos Legions from 2011. I think this one just has the best songs overall. It's just a very consistent album. Yesterday is Dead and Gone, just very heavy and melodic. The vocals sound very like demonic, and the guitars have a very melodic sound. Bloodstained Cross, that's just one of their classics. It's very heavy and memorable, has those fast drum beats and killer riffs. And the chorus, and they have some clean guitars. It's just a very memorable song. Then like that quieter breakdown, so that's a great song. Under Black Flags We March, this is a cool one. I really like the music video, the guitar riffs, kind of almost like closer to like thrash metal, but still very heavy. City of the Dead, really good songs with these chunky riffs and some shredding solos. And a great complex guitar riffs and cool vocal layering. Then there's Through the Eyes of a Raven. That one's pretty cool, and really cool classical guitar at the end of that one. And probably like the best song on the album, Cruelty Without Beauty. And it's about animal experimentation, and they have this music video where they show like all these like monkeys and rabbits in cages and stuff. It's very graphic, but just a really great song. This whole album is solid. They're heavy and melodic, and it's my favorite. I guess it could probably change because, you know, my top 5 albums are very close. But that is all. Please remember, like, comment, subscribe. This is JC Rocket Metal Reviews. My name is John. I do album reviews and rankings, and I'll probably be back again tomorrow with another video. So thanks for watching. See you later.